Buddy, hope you're doing well. First and foremost, I want to thank MLB and Colorado Rockies hitting coach, bench coach, former manager Clint Hurdle for joining myself and Joe and the MLB Yankee Mania this morning, giving us some time to talk baseball and talk just to get a perspective from somebody who's in the game right now. And it was a pleasure and an honor, sir, and I thank you for it. Now, I have a couple things I got to go over. I want to go with you, but I got to get back to work. But there's a trade proposal being floating around right now. Shout out to the chat, Jonathan, Jack, Angel, John. There's a trade proposal being floated around right now. Bleacher Report's got an article on this too. I'm just going to read it out. Okay. As the trade deadline inches close, the New York Yankees may be making their boldest push yet towards postseason appearance, postseason supremacy. Excuse me. The target is likely Blue Jays infielder Bo Bichette. Okay, Consul Yeti. There he is. And the proposal here, so let me just read this. The target could be Bo Bichette, and the proposed trade could include a potential multiplayer blockbuster. The proposal centers around the three-player package: Will Warren, Everson Pereira, and Oswald Peraza. Okay, in exchange for Bichette, who is in his final year of arbitration and who could become a free agent this winter. So this clearly would be a rental situation. He could play second or third. So he can complement Jazz Chisholm. And obviously you'd be giving up an Oswald Peraza, which would take a cog away in the infield, which would clear up a spot. Pablo Reyes was DFA'd yesterday. So Bo Bichette would be an upgrade over either one of those guys. Now that's the trade proposal right now. And Bleacher Report's got some more insight into this. I don't know anything beyond that, but that's what's being pushed out right now, this trade proposal. So, but that's a relatively aggressive trade proposal for half a year of Bo Bichette. I mean, I would try to swap out Everson Pereira in a separate trade, hopefully for a relief arm. I would try to give up somebody else for Bo Bichette. But Bo Bichette, like, he represents the right-handed bat the Yankees are looking to acquire here before the deadline. So, and he'd be taking them away from a division rival. Okay, now, I don't know, but that's what's being shared right now. So I wanted to get this out to you. You let me know what your thoughts are, right? But it does seem like a little steep. Warren, Pereira, and Peraza for like 3 months of Bo Bichette. That's a little bit of steep. That's a little steep. Luis Hill, we're just hearing early July. That's what we're hearing right now. He hasn't officially started his rehab assignment just yet. So, would Bo Bichette represent the change in the lineup or a change in the lineup that would be refreshing to the fans? I don't know. But he clearly is an upgrade over Peraza, Reyes. And just to put this in perspective, I pull up his stats here. He's currently batting. What is he batting? 268 with 312 on base, 411, slugging 723 OPS. He's got 8 homers, 41 ribbies, 17 doubles, and a triple. And he's got 18 walks and 53 strikeouts and 4 stolen bases. So relatively across the board, right? But again, like Will Warren, to me, I think it's going to depend on what happens with Luis Hill when he comes back. Is he going to be good when he comes back? Is he going to be healthy when he comes back, right? Yeah, and it's just telling you know me, man. Brendan Dunham is a guy. He's the guy I want, but he's also the guy that I don't know we can get because the Cardinals have not decided whether they're going to become sellers yet. And I don't know. You know, I think they would rather sell Nolan Arenado than Brendan Donovan, but that's just based on what we're seeing, what we're hearing. Could be wrong. But that trade proposal I wanted to share with you. Okay, now, there's another thing I wanted to go over, and I'm going to share an article with you, okay? You know, there's a lot of well, I want to know what you think about this first off. Let me pull up this article, okay? This I got to give a shout out to Ace Avenue for sharing this with me. Pirates Andrew, and this is coming right from a Major League Baseball source, okay? Pirates Andrew McCutchen says an MLB rep told him baseballs used in 2025 are different. Now let's read into this a little bit. Pirates outfielder Andrew McCutchen said via X on his account the MLB representative, and the MLB representative, so he's basically saying somebody in the game told him the baseballs are being used in the season are different due to higher seams, which are leading to more drag on the baseball and less travel. You kind of saw that last night to a degree with Paul Goldschmidt and Cody Bellinger in the Yankee game, but also I would have factored in the rain too. I don't know how much of an effect, but my question is are they purposely this way to offset the effect of the torpedo bat? We just don't know. But this is his official ex post here. I was told by a rep for MLB that the balls are indeed different this year. They stated higher seams, which produces more drag on baseball, causing baseballs to not travel as far as they should. When asked why, I was told every baseball is hand sewn, so no ball is the same. Let's see if I can get more here. Go right to his Twitter here. Okay, that's not working. So essentially, it looks like MLB might be using purposely, dead balling the balls. Scoring is down a bit this year. Teams are averaging 4.321s in 2025 compared to 4.349. I know slugging percentage is down almost 30% as well. Home runs per game are down a touch, averaging 1.09 compared to 112 in 2024. Commentary on the baseballs as years go by isn't anything new in recent memory. The talk on baseballs and perhaps loudest in 2019. Craig Calcaterra of NBC Sports cited a report from a committee of scientists asked to look at why baseballs are flying that season. Right, 6,766 home runs hit during the regular season, which shattered the previous record in 2017 by nearly 11%, and so on. Now, I'm going to attach this article down below so you can read it for yourself and get some more insight on it. But I think this is a major league source, talking about another major league source talking about it. So it does have some teeth. And thank you, Ace, for sharing this with me. Shout out to you, bro. And no, I think we need to more insight and, would like some more confirmation on this. But if an MLB rep is telling a major league player this, then, this might be one of the reasons why the balls are traveling less, particularly. And I know a lot of Yankee fans are expressing frustration that the Yankees are, even last night, like I said, with Cody Bellinger, I thought he hit that ball hard. So did Paul Goldschmidt, and they essentially just died in the outfield, right? So I do agree. I wish MLB would just leave this stuff alone. Let the balls travel. Let them travel. And like a torpedo bat is just a different weight distribution in the bat. It doesn't make it easier to hit balls and strikes or off speed such. It does nothing to change any of that. Okay. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like if we just use the live balls that we've been using before, and it's a good question too. I don't know why MLB is doing this, Nathaniel. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it's because they keep, if offensive production keeps going through the roof, then maybe the expectation and contracts are going to go even higher. And since we already have two $700+ million players, maybe I don't know if it's going to affect the financials in the game, but generally offensive production affects financials in the game, right? I just don't know. But yeah, I mean, MLB is definitely making some changes, and I really hope that they consider making some changes in the next CBA, right? So we'll see what they do. Generally, there aren't many decisions made during the CBA that are substantial. It's just something that happens to get them out of the strike, out of a work stoppage, or prevents a work stoppage, which is a very possible thing in the next CBA, which is after 2026 season. But it's this type of stuff that is out there now. Now that we know, now that we've got a player saying that an MLB rep is, basically admitting this and saying this, it does have some credibility to this. And again, I would love some more corroboration. I'm not sure if you're going to hear anything from Rob Manfred or the powers that be in the major league level, but this is out there now. And I don't think Andrew McCutchen would make this up. So, yeah. It's crazy. There's another West Coast team take the one guy on the team. Yeah, it is what it is, right? So, yeah. I'm not sure they're going to get 2 bats, Siciliano. I think they're going to get 1 bat and 2 arms. I think. But you never know. Kenley Jansen could be a guy. He shut the Yankees down last night. Jake Burr is a guy from Rockies I would love, but I don't know if the Rockies are going to part with him. We were hoping they were going to part with Ryan McMahon last year, but they're loyal to their players. Which, yeah, I mean, this is one reason why I think the Bichette trade is being floated, because he is a righty bat. And we got the last confirmation we have, or last reporting we got from Joel Sherman says that the Yankees are looking for a right-handed bat who plays either third or second or both, but who can also play the shortstop, and the outfield as well. Now, I don't know if Bichette can play the outfield, but I'm confident he can play multiple infield positions. And it could be a change of scenery at this point, because with Vladimir Guerrero securing the contract that he did, I'm not sure it's going to leave much room for Bichette. So, but he would be a rental player, and I would love a player with more controllable years. If you're going to give a package like that, and the package suggested was Peraza, Pereira, and Will Warren, I'd want a guy with at least another controllable year beyond this. So, yeah. If the Diamondbacks were to become, yeah, and it would be on, I've seen that stuff too. Eugenio Suarez, I mean, he offensively he would be an upgrade. He bats on the righty side too. He can play third base, but I don't know. If I'm the Yankees, I'm looking for guys that put the ball in play, patient hitters. And if I'm them, just looking at what they've struggled with recently, the situational hitting, the ghost runner, right? The Yankees have had 9 opportunities this year with the ghost runner, and only once have they played the ghost runner. That's 8 out of the 9 times they did not driving the ghost runner. So if I'm them, I'm doing a lot of situational stuff right now with runners on second, acting as the ghost runner with 1, 2, or 3 outs. And what are you doing, so on and so forth? Because last night, obviously, they struggled with that. They did struggle with it. So hopefully that's something that they will improve on moving forward. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Josh Jung is going to be available from Texas Rangers. I'm not sure. Forget Brendan Donovan. I mean, I can't do it. If he becomes available, there's nobody else in baseball I would want other than Donovan. I think they're quietly. I know they're keeping tabs on him, but they're clearly doing it quietly, which generally, Brian Cashman does. He very stealthily works behind the scenes. They're wrong. What's happening, my man? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Profar. Jurickson Profar, he's suspended for almost the whole season for PEDs. The Braves signed him and he got suspended almost immediately after. The Braves now have to replace him. So Luis Roberts, a guy that I could see being a candidate for the Braves as a change of scenery guy. And he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year too. So he will clearly be another rental situation for the Braves. And the Braves have other issues they've got to address as well. Vigo. Shrapnel from a rocket. Shrapnel, really? I saw yesterday the Israeli jets flying over Iraq to get into Iran or something like that. I saw that. Some of their fighter jets. That was crazy. Got to be careful, Deron. Be very careful. And Jonathan's going to be at the game tonight. That's right. Got to bring us some good luck, man. Got to bring the Yankees good luck, Jonathan. We need it. What kind of package deal together for Jake Bird and Ryan McMahon? That's going to cost a lot. A lot. Trade Dominguez for sale. I heard some people floating that yesterday too. You say Kikuchi, he's got controllable years, but he's on a pretty high contract. Sale's got next year, but I think it might be a team option. So, which is one reason I'm hesitant on giving a top prospect is because if Sale doesn't pan out and the Yankees decide to not exercise the option, then they give up Dominguez for nothing. So that's why I would be hesitant to do that. So we'll see. Was that right, Marvin? And replace them with who? And what bad decisions, Marvin? Are you blaming him for players not doing their job? Yeah, Ben. I mean, I don't know. It's again, we've got to wait. We've got to get more corroboration on this. But that's the article that I saw and read. And again, Andrew McCutcheon's in it. And he's naming MLB, MLB insider sources. So Reed Detmers from the Angels, maybe. I mean, Jake Bird is my first pick from the Rockies, but I just don't know if he's going to be available. I would love to get a righty and a lefty, high leverage guys in the back end of the bullpen, guys that could actually get guys out without drawing many walks, right? Because we've got far too many relievers and then they have to face the minimum 3 batters, each one of them. So far too many of them will walk one or two of these guys, and then it leaves the next reliever after that in a little bit of a pickle. So, yeah, the offense is definitely hibernating now. For Brendan Donovan, Dominguez or Spencer Jones would have to go for him, and more. Oh, we don't know that they're not being aggressive right now. Teams could just be not listening yet. It's going to be a seller's market. It's going to be more buyers and sellers are going to charge high prices for their assets. They're going to try to get teams to bid against each other. That makes sense. So. Yeah, there's something. I don't know, Robert, what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm going to attach the article down below, and you can read it for yourself and let me know what your thoughts are. Give me your thoughts in the comments. They could unload Castillo, but I think if they're going to unload Castillo, they're probably going to unload him for a bat. Probably for a bat. I'm guessing. Joe Torre will serve as an honorary coach for American League. Ah, cool. That's cool. Congratulations to Joe Torre. Good stuff. Still revered around the game, Joe Torre. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they were going to move anybody, it would probably be Luis Castillo because he's the one on the big contract from Seattle. The other guys, they're all mostly arbitration, pre-arbitration guys. So that's going to be harder to give up. And that would cost a heck of a lot more to part with one of them. So, but I could see teams that are willing to pay the price. Yeah, Guy would like to see a trade this week too. It's just, and like talking to Clint Hurdle about this a little while ago, it's just the war room is a little bit different. There's a lot more moving pieces in the war room, particularly as it pertains to the trade deadline. So, no, you're right. Hicks will not make up for losing their best hit. They got him, and they got what's his name, Kyle Harrison. And I think they got the 14th pick in last year's draft. They got an infield prospect and a pitching prospect as well. One of which is the 14th pick in the draft. So, I do think there's retraining that needs to happen with the umpires. I do think that. Anthony Bender and Ronnie Henriquez and get rid of Everson for I don't know about that. You're excited for the NBA draft? The Mavericks getting Cooper Flag? If they don't pick Cooper Flag, I'd be shocked. I agree Boston will be big players, and maybe even at the deadline, but most likely for agency. But again, like there's so much talk about them pursuing Kyle Tucker. I find it a tough one because they have a lot of outfield prospects, highly touted outfield prospects. Unless they're going to move a couple of them for a starter, you try to get Luis Castillo, you try to get somebody like that to plug as the number 2 starter behind Garrett Crochet, that creates a monstrous 1-2 for Boston. And it's one of the things I think that they need. You know, but the cat, I'm with you there. Yeah, I do think he's movable as well. Well, that Jonathan's trading draft picks, and then and penalizing less the teams that spend the money and distribute revenue sharing. Well, do I think we'll get caught? I doubt it. I'd rather have Spencer Jones make the next step than pay $500 million for Kyle Tucker. Yep. Oh yeah, Ben. Yeah, the Yankees offense is cold right now. I mean, I'm confident they'll pick it up. I think this lineup to me just seems like multiple. Like last year, we had 2 guys hitting, and then maybe 3 on occasion, and no one else. So this year, we have that where like a bunch of guys are hitting, right? And they get hot for a while, and then all those guys just shut down. And now we're in a cold spell right now. We need to get past that, and that's not really a Boone thing. This is unfortunately the nature of the game. Bats get cold. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. 31 likes. Let's keep hitting those like buttons, gang, if you don't mind. Tap that thumbs up, please. I think it sounds like we were probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Nick Kurtz from the Athletics. What can you tell us about him? No more ace. Yeah. No more ace pitchers, that's for sure. Boston. Yeah. Trying to figure if Boston's putting. Well, we don't know yet, right? Like to me, it looked like addition by subtraction with Boston. So they moved their best hitter, who wasn't an outfielder, right? And they making room for a lot of their best prospects, who are mostly outfielders. So my guess is they're going to be relatively busy at the deadline and potentially in free agency too. Boston, yeah, Boston. Boston's good. Boston's good. Nick Kurtz. Where does Nick Kurtz play? Yanks for life. Spencer. And why are you in favor of trading Spencer over Dominguez? Oh yeah. Yeah, I Yankees will play. There will be players on a couple players, I think. I do think that as well. Franchise, what's happening, brother? Mm-hmm. Franchise. What's up, man? How we doing? I think they're going to be. I agree too, Joe. So I think they're going to be more aggressive than everybody thinks. And the Yankees generally operate stealth, right? They generally operate quietly. So we could wake up tomorrow and say, "What did Cashman do? He just pulled the trade." Like last year, they got Jazz Chisholm several weeks before the deadline, before the prices really raised. So I could see them doing the same thing this year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crochet, Cease, King for Boston. Yeah, I don't think they'll get both of them, but I could see them getting a pitcher. Would I consider Batista? Yeah, maybe. Not over Jake Bird, but I would consider Batista. Ken, what do you know, my man? I do think it's probably a good idea to have one lefty and one righty, high leverage type guys added to the bullpen. Personally, I would prefer Merrill Kelly over Zach Gallen. He had better stats this year. Is cheaper. He had better stats in the postseason as well. I think it'd just be a better fit for the Yankees. And right now, I'm just looking for the best fits, not necessarily the highest end players. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Make a splash with Jacob. Well, that's not going to happen. They're not going to trade Jacob Wilson. The A's are not going to move him. Why would they do that? But pull off a trade with the Dodgers. Pull off a trade with the Dodgers for Ohtani. Yeah. Ken's got the inside scoop right here, man. See, I'm right up there too with you, Duran. I think the Yankees would be well off to add another piece or two to the bullpen to really further reinforce this thing. And again, the only guys that I'm really mentioning, like Bichette, he fills the criteria what the Yankees look for, plus he can lead off. Brendan Donovan, he fills the criteria what the Yankees are looking for, plus he can lead off, even though he's not right, he's lefty, right? It's these guys that could be a table setter at the top, but also do the things that the Yankees are looking for: contact, putting the ball in play, and so on. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll get a back end reliever too. They've got to. They absolutely have to, especially now that Jake Cousins is going to be out with the for the season, and most of next season as well with Tommy John. Yeah. Too solid. Yeah, we do. People are poo-pooing on Devin Williams, but his ERA keeps plummeting, keeps going down. Mm-hmm. Cade Gibson, huh? Yeah, I mean, yeah. We'll see what happens to Ohtani, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said earlier, Tina, he hasn't started his rehab yet, but he's still projecting towards early July, Luis Hill. As soon as he starts his rehab assignment, that's when the time clock officially starts. Need a couple of starts, I'm guessing, and then he'll be back up. But it should be starting any day. Right? Because he's already been on the mound. No, I would not move Devin Williams. I don't know why people are proposing that. Make the trade for Hader, maybe for Peraza for Josh Hader. I get Williams scares a lot of people. I get that. I get it. He's getting a lot more comfortable here as a Yankee in his skin with this, in the situations that he's now being pivoted to, which are probably more suitable for him right now. But he's also showing that he can close games too. Jazz, no, I don't trade Jazz. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ohtani. Let him do his thing over in LA. Let him do his thing. Mm. Yeah, Hader. I can't see the Hader trade ever happening, but I know a lot of fans would not mind it. They would not mind it. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. These crazy trade proposals. Exactly, Ken. Exactly. Jazz doesn't make $20 million per year. He makes less. He's still an arbitration player. Runner. LeMay, yeah. Yeah. Well, I was yesterday. It was kind of a positioning thing too. Like Dominguez had no choice but to run into the guy at third base. Like that was going to happen. The ball was just hit there. He was running that direction. It was just going to happen. So, sports talk is in the building. Shopping Dominguez with a guy like Williams would be a good package for anybody. Like who? Franchise, and what would you give them up for? That's a monster trade. Yeah, I mean, Loizaga was definitely going to throw. I think he was bound to throw 2 innings at some point in so. And Joseph. Well, exactly, too, Ben. Yeah, these are just proposals, and I'm going to continue to keep you updated on the proposals that people are putting out, and see which ones are being repeated by multiple people. Then that generally tells me that something's going on. Something has teeth. Mm-hmm. Well, exactly, too. Yeah, contender. I think a contender would be looking to extract Williams from the Yankees if he became available. Appreciate you. Sports talk. Appreciate you, man. Patrick Corbin, you got to get him and Robbie Ray over here, man. They'll change everything. Mason Miller would cost a hefty package, especially now that he's pitching again like Mason Miller. So, and that's the key. Mm-hmm. Well, they've got to get Marcus Stroman on the mound to let him pitch a few days, to let him show that he's healthy and he can actually perform in order for him to build his trade value. Because right now he's next to none. Mm-hmm. Marcus, what's happening, brother? What's good? Tyler Anderson, somebody to consider. Robert, yeah. Luis Robert, I think he's going to go to the National League. Jonas, National League. All right. Giants. Saving right field. That's the Giants got their big bat to complement the rest of that offensive lineup. Then they needed to make a move like that to stay on par with the Dodgers and the Padres. And I think both of those teams are going to counter with some type of move of their own, the Padres and the Dodgers, to keep it kind of a three-headed monster in the National League West. But let them beat up on each other all you want. Mm-hmm. My time it. No doubt about it, Marshall. No doubt about it. Yeah, Harrison and Hicks. And then they got 2 prospects, a pitching prospect and an infield prospect. So yeah, Mason Miller, I know people are afraid he's a Tommy John case waiting to happen. So they feel like his arm is going to fall off the socket. So I get it. But smack that like button, gang. We got 80 people in here. We'll try to get to 100 likes if we can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Mason Miller would be a big get. A big get. He's not going to come cheap either. He's got, I think, 4 years of control left beyond this year. So he's got a big, big arm. But people do think he's one pitch away from Tommy John. So he's got to be handled gingerly and with care. Those are the two things I wanted to share with you, gang. Okay? The trade proposal and the news about the dead balls. I will attach down below so you can read it for yourself. Let me know what your thoughts are, gang. All right, I'm going to get back to work. We'll have a great day. We'll be back later on with the lineup. Hopefully, the Yankees will be celebrating a win tonight. We need them to win already. Okay, the bats are cold. We need them to wake up. Let's will these folks to win. Let's go, Yankees.